Hello everyone, Angus Campbell here. Saturday the 25th of July 2020. Right, it's been maybe 2 weeks or more since I put up the last video where the victim was still the ongoing saga of the lightning. And I'm sure some of you have been wondering in the meantime what's been going on, and there have been a couple of further helpful comments, etc., with respect to trying to assist in the diagnosis of the issue we've got with the bike. I think, if I remember rightly, where we left off in the last video is that I was still checking points gap and timing, and that we appeared to be setting that correctly, but then we were having problems starting it. It wasn't starting anywhere near as well as, you know, the first run out and the first tests once we'd finished the build of the bike. So the way I left it on the last video was that I was going to reset the points gap, reset the timing again, and see where we got from that. Well, I started that work as usual, as you've seen in previous videos, with respect to getting out the battery in the bulb and the timing plug, etc. And I went through all that palaver again, and I was still having a problem where it would fire occasionally and then die a bit. In fact, it did run for a little while. We seem to have been having the problem as well with respect to it flooding, or appearing to flood quite easily. The plugs are very wet. So anyway, following the recent attempt to retime this, I still had the same problem. So what I've been doing in the meantime is just thinking about this and researching a bit, and also making some further observations. And I found something pretty significant, and that is that firstly, I'm getting quite a poor spark on the left-hand cylinder. The spark is there, but it's orangey and it's pretty weak. And I'm getting a double spark on the right-hand cylinder. And this led me to thinking back to issues that I know that BSA had. I think it was around about 1966 when they launched the Mark II Spitfire, whereby the performance of the Spitfire didn't live up to its reputation, and they were having some overheating problems with the motors as well. And it was following that the new finned rocker cover was developed to try and dissipate some of the heat. But ultimately, after a while, I think the factory found that the auto advance cam profile was leading to maverick sparks being generated at the wrong time in the ignition cycle. And that was causing not just problems with combustion, but also the way that the combustion developed within the chamber. Now, why is that relevant? The reason that's relevant is because I purchased a second-hand replacement auto advance unit for this bike, because when I bought it in the state that it was in, there was none present. So I took the decision to look for a replacement item. So there was that to think about. The second thing is that in the meantime as well, I've, as you can see, the cover's off, and that's because I've removed the points. The auto advance unit's still in there, and the points backplate's still in there. But I've removed the points just to have a look at those. And actually, they're not that clever. They're not bad, but they're not clever. So, final thing to consider is then that, and as one of the subscribers pointed out, is that it could be condensers if that's the case. Well, yes, that's true, but the points actually aren't arcing when I kick this over. I'm more inclined to think that the multiple sparks may be due to the auto advance cam profile when the points gap are set at standard setting between 12 and 17 thou. But what we might do, I think, belts and braces, is think about putting some new condensers on this as well, because I didn't do that either. I had a condenser set in stock which looked in reasonable condition. I don't think it is the condensers, but if we're going to do it properly, we're going to do it properly. So what I've done then is, and what I've been waiting for in the last 2 weeks, are for parts to arrive. So we've got the points. Now, first thing to consider is that don't read everything at face value. These are in Lucas boxes. They look original. They look brand new. But obviously there's some considerations at the moment as to whether some of this, some of this stuff originates from. However, they are stamped Lucas, yeah, but what does that mean really? But actually, they do look, reasonable quality. And the other thing I've realised with this is that obviously the spring tension is so much stronger than obviously the points that I've taken off. So anyway, so we've got 2 new sets of points with new little felts as well. Amazing. But then we're thinking about, right, it took me a while to get a replacement auto advance unit when I was restoring the bike. What are we going to do about that? Well, there's some good news on that front. The later BSA twins shared the same auto advance unit as Norton Commandos. 12 degrees, same profile, same actual part number, same Lucas part number. And I've found new old stock at Andover Norton, believe it or not. So, I've not opened this yet, but firstly, Norton logo, Andover Norton, factory parts, and although I haven't opened it up yet, you can see this is going to be brand new in its original old style Lucas black and red packaging. So it's new old stock really, but it's the proper kosher kit. So I'm really chuffed with that. I didn't expect that at all. So these are in stock at Andover Norton, off the shelf, on their website. Right. So the plan today is a bit of a long-winded intro, but at least it gives you all the context. Plan today is, right, here we go again. Off with the cover, outer cover. We'll take the points back plate off and the auto advance unit, and we'll do a bit of make a few observations on that and compare it to the new one, and we'll take it from there. So let me get the cover off and I'll bring you back, and shouldn't be too long because we've done this quite a few times before. Okay, cover off, guts out. It's not too bad a job. The worst bit is getting the footrest off because of the access to the mounting bolt. You've just got to be patient with it. Right, so here we are then, points back plate and the auto advance unit that was fitted. And then next to that, there we go, from Andover Norton. That's the correct Lucas part number for 71 onwards A65, A70. And there it is. 12 degrees. Lovely smooth action on it. New all stock, yes, but still in its box and in its wax paper, so it's in as new condition, which you'd expect. Now, I have to say I'm a bit disappointed in that this is the unit I've taken out, and I was expecting, well, first of all, I think this is the right unit, and it's 12 degrees. There it is, 12. That's right. I was expecting the cam profile to be a little worse for wear. So let's just get a bit of a pointer out. Right, and hold this with the other hand. So that's the mark there, which is the point at which you measure the points gap. So that's the highest point of the cam, and the points open somewhere around about here. Now I was expecting to see the cam profile flatten out a bit over here. There's a bit of an indication of that, because as I say, I was getting a second spark. And that's why I was messing around with the points gaps, really, to see if I opened up to the maximum of the range in the tolerance, which is 17 thou, whether or not that would make any difference. But it didn't really. So it doesn't look too bad. Having said that, the action of the cam is sloppy. The springs aren't very clever. And also, if you look at the cam face, you know, it's smooth. Is it smooth? Actually, no, it's not. It's okay, but it's not perfect by any means. You can see that's had some corrosion anyway in its life. So actually, it's not as bad as I thought, as I expected, I should say. But anyway, we're getting rid. So brand spanking new points to fit up, and in stock I've got condensers. So the next job actually is to take the condenser pack off, and that lives under the seat here. You can see I've got the reason why I don't think it's condensers is because I've got obviously a built-in spare here, because this is the same pack as used on the triples, and this pack is from a triple, so I've got 3 condensers in it. So you know, I've got some disaster recovery capability here, and it didn't make any difference. Maybe a way to go about it first. This is a pig. It's going to be a pig. Battery out. Have to get underneath this plate, and it's not straightforward without taking the whole plate off. But yeah, I'm going to take the battery out and do it. I was just thinking there whether to put the points in the auto advance on, and we'll save this and if we've still got problems. But what should I do? But then we won't be able to necessarily eliminate where the source of the problem was. Yeah, so go on, we're going to leave that for now. Because as I say, I have got some fault tolerance in there, and I've tried it. Didn't make any difference. I'm pretty sure it's a combination of the points and auto advance. I think Johnny was certainly mentioning a little while ago and emphasising the fact you need to make sure that the auto advance is centred properly on a dial gauge, which I had done when I borrowed somebody else's dial gauge. That was okay from the point of view of it being centred on its mounting bolt, but what I didn't check at the time when I had the dial gauge, which I should have done, was the profile of that auto advance cam. But anyway, we've got a new one now, so we'll fit the points on the back plate first, and then I'll bring you back. So that shouldn't take too long. Right, there we go. 5 minutes later, quick job. But crikey, the spring tension, it's just in a different league. So that's going to make a huge difference. Right, so there we go. We'll get those up on the bike now. Almost ashamed to throw this pack away. Maybe I ought to buy another one for stock. Fantastic. Ooh. Bear with me, folks. Right, there we are. New points in, new auto advancing, not timed yet. So I'll just oil up the felts, and then I'm going to put the outer cover back on, kickstart on, and before we time up, we'll just check what sort of sparks we get, and hopefully we'll just get one on each side per revolution. Okay, just get the cover on, I'll bring you back. Okay, I've just put the cover on loosely to retain the Kickstarter spring and get the Kickstarter on properly, so I could kick it over with the plugs out, etc. And I'm getting a beautiful fat spark both sides, single spark per revolution. I didn't video it, but just believe me, that's the oil it chucked out of the front timing plug hole, which hasn't got anything in it at the moment. Let's give it another go anyway, just to show you. Ignition's on. There it is, bang. Yeah. So it's there. I don't know whether you saw that on the vid, but anyway, it's there. Okay. Right, we'll button her all up and we can time it up then. Right, well, we were timing it up, and can anybody notice the problem? One of the posts has just detached from the points back plate. So I haven't got three hands here, but I'll check the lights away and we'll try and see as is. See if you can adjust a bit. Here. That's now free because it's broken off from up here. So let me put the torch back on so you can see that. There it is, detached. God damn it. Off with the cover, off with the back plate. Try and find another black plate. I don't think I've got one in stock, but I'm going to have a look now and I'll come back, but that's where we might have to end it. But anyway, let me see what I've got. I don't think I have one for a twin. Got a couple for triples, but they ain't going to do. Right, give me a time to think before I kill myself. Okay, I'll be back in a sec. Right, there we go, cover off. Luckily, I'd only put the cover on loosely to allow the kickstarter to go on so we could turn the engine, and hadn't put all the footrests and all that lot back on, so soon off. Not very good light, but anyway, there we go. Free in the wind, because the post on which that nut screws on has sheared off the back plate just there. And I wasn't doing much to it, I was only just ascertaining why this side of the points wasn't lining up very well with the earthing side. And maybe what I hadn't noticed was that post was probably bent. And what I was doing, I was just trying to ascertain the gap between this, if you like, the harness wire termination on the post. It was very close to one side of the points, and that's probably the reason why. Anyway, that ain't gonna work. So let's get these off and see what we can do. Right, so here we are. Bad news that we've had to take it apart, but actually good news because I'm being a bit stupid. So this post, which is pulled away, is that post there on the other one, where you make the connection with the harness that goes up to the coil. But the post is on the back plate of the points, not on the whole back plate for the whole setup. So that's fine, which is good. So this is a new set of points. So it just goes back to what I was saying earlier on. You know, don't believe everything you read. I don't think these are genuine Lucas at all. They don't even look anything like it, to be honest. What to do? What to do? What to do? Have I got another spare? I mean, obviously, I've got the originals. So I could just strip that and use the original back plate and the earthing side of the points, if they're any good. What I have found in the meantime is just going to the parts manual. So number 3 there is the back plate, and there we are, 191841 and Lucas 544199097. I've been on the net and I've found new old stock of the whole setup, all this lot, including points, all genuine Lucas. So they're on the way, but they're from America, but they're boxed, so they're on the way. Thinking. Right, let me think about this and also see what I've got and whether or not we proceed now with either an original points back plate or whether I've got a spare one in stock and put it back on. Give me time to think, I'll come back. Right everyone, I've decided to go with the original points back plate but keep the replacement other half of the points that contact with the auto advance cam. And the reason for that is, if you look at it now, so we've got the new points back plate's still there, and the original one here to replace the one that where the stub broke. But just look at how those points line up there, and that's with the original back plate. And look how they don't line up there with the new back plate. And that's after a bit of tinkering around. So that's one of the reasons why I'm going to go with the original back plates for now, until we get these new old stock from America, which is going to be a while. And there's a few other bloody hints that, you know, that I don't think these are genuine at all. You know, smaller nuts to secure the termination from the harness, and also no washer, and there is on the original Lucas ones. And that's to secure the connection from the harness onto the post. So maybe I was just tightening a bit too much on these new posts, but they're not right. I don't like them. Rubbish. Just like all pattern stuff these days. Right, so we'll get that back plate replaced, and then we'll get back to the bike. There's the other side on, and hey ho, the points line up. Marvellous. She's running. Needs a bit of tuning just yet, but it's now starting much better and fairly reliably as well. So I've got a bit of tuning to do, but I think we're going to be okay. Well, I'll just tidy up the mess and I'll come back. Right. Bit of a long one this, but objective achieved. So she's running now and she's starting reliably. Needs a bit of bottom end tuning, which I'll do, and probably a strobe up. And we'll take it from there. I think we've eliminated the condensers though, because I'm still running the condensers that I had in it. I'm getting a beautiful single spark on each side on the plugs. So I think, you know, some of the issues that I've noted during my investigations over the last 2 weeks we've definitely cured. So I'm going to probably give it another run tomorrow, as I say, do in the garage and tune up. What I haven't done yet is the usual tactic of tuning up a cylinder at a time. So I'll do that. So I think we're just about there, about time, ready for another test. Sounds okay. A little bit rattly on the top end, but certainly nothing like we were hearing before. So I'm going to leave it there for now, and hopefully the next time you see this bike, we'll be doing a few run-bys with the camera. My son has said he'll come out with me at some point when the weather's okay into the countryside, and we'll do some footage and panning of it with some sort of drive-bys. That's the sort of turn I'm looking for, really. So, okay, how long have we been in the garage? About 4 hours messing about with it, but I think we've got there. Again, don't trust what you read on a packet or what brand you see on a packet these days. You just can't do it. We've still got the new old stock stuff coming from the States, but we'll just hold that as stock, and maybe think about that in when I service it in the future. Anyway, enough rambling. Thanks very much for watching, everybody. Thanks for interest, comments, and subscriptions. We're back, but the next video will definitely be back onto the Fury SS. I'll give you an update on that, and also we'll think about starting hacking some bits and pieces to create the exhaust. Thanks very much for watching, everybody. Cheers, see you soon.